Hello, and welcome to Working Together to Safeguard Children 2023 Partner Briefing. The presentation aims to provide a summary of the changes made to the most recent Working Together legislation. This version replaces the previous 2018 iteration of the document. Working Together to Safeguard Children applies to all children from those who are unborn up until the age of 18. This is regardless of whether they live with their families, live in care, or independently. Working Together was first published in 1999 and has had multiple updates, of which this is one. The Department of Education have advised that there will be annual updates from this point onwards. The new edition of Working Together is central to delivering on the government's strategy set out in Stable Homes Built on Love, published in 2023. This outlines their commitment to support every child to grow up in a safe, stable and loving home. The new iteration of Working Together should be read in line with this document. Other updated documents of note alongside Working Together statutory guidance are an updated Working Together statutory framework, the Children's Social Care National Framework, and guidance on improving practice with children, young people and families. While the structure of the legislation remains broadly similar, there are some key updates. The new chapter, Chapter 1, A Shared Responsibility, strengthens the theme of partnership working and sets out expectations for all practitioners involved in the safeguarding and well-being of children and young people. Those expectations state the importance of a multi-agency approach to achieve positive outcomes for children and introduces a set of multi-agency principles and expectations for all individuals, agencies and organisations in order to achieve this. To be clear, the guidance and expectations apply to all agencies and practitioners involved in safeguarding and protecting children. Specifically, these include police, local authorities, health services, youth offending services, education providers and childcare settings, as well as voluntary and third sector organisations. The aim is to ensure that all partners share the same goals, learn from each other, have what they need to help families, and acknowledge and appreciate difference and challenge each other positively. The expectations are structured across 3 levels. Strategic leaders, examples being chief executives of local authorities or the Integrated Care Board or chief constables. Then senior and middle managers, for examples, directors of children's services, designated and lead professionals and head teachers. And then direct practice, such as frontline practitioners, including police constables, social workers, health visitors, and those in the voluntary and teaching sectors. This chapter also highlights the 4 practice principles that all practitioners should follow when working with parents and carers. Ensuring effective partnership, empowering and working together to build and foster strong and trusting relationships, being respectful, using concise and jargon-free language to suit families' individual needs, involving parents in planning and to participate in decision-making, ensuring that families are central to any decisions made. And lastly, making sure that families are equipped with information in a timely manner, keeping them updated and encouraging their feedback. We know that safeguarding children partnerships have a responsibility to work together to safeguard and promote the welfare of children and young people. Chapter 2, Multi-Agency Safeguarding Arrangements, discusses the new roles and responsibilities relating to the 3 safeguarding partners, the local authority, police and integrated care boards, and states that they have a joint and equal duty to work together to promote the welfare and safeguarding of children in the locality. This also includes them to help develop other partner agencies and organisations to do so. The head of each statutory safeguarding partner will be referred to as the Lead Safeguarding Partner, or LSP, who in turn will appoint a Delegated Safeguarding Partner, DSP. Each Children's Safeguarding Partnership will have 3 Lead Safeguarding Partners, LSPs, and 3 Delegated Safeguarding Partners, DSPs. The LSP is the Lead Safeguarding Partner, for example, the Chief Officer of Police and the chief executives of the local authority and ICB. The DSP, Delegated Safeguarding Partner, is the Assistant Chief Constable for North Yorkshire Police, Corporate Director for Children's Services at the local authority, and the Executive Director of Quality and Nursing at the Health Authority or ICB. Joint functions of DSPs. The DSPs will oversee the delivery of multi-agency priorities and implement effective partnership working arrangements, with the joint function of delegated safeguarding partners being to deliver multi-agency priorities, ensure engagement with education services at both strategic and operational level, as well as other agencies, to make sure there's implementation of information and data sharing and joint analysis between agencies where needed, to ensure timely rapid reviews and local safeguarding practice reviews, with the impact of any learning from local and national reviews and independent scrutiny being clearly evidenced. Making sure there is provision of suitable multi-agency safeguarding professional development and training, and engaging children and families in feedback and co-designing services to ensure inclusive and effective support systems. From an education perspective, Chapter 2, Master Arrangements, recommends that LSPs should include someone from the education sector in their meetings to make sure the views of education and childcare providers are heard. The chapter also stipulates that all local education and childcare providers working with children up to the age of 18 should be part of local arrangements, and consideration should be given to voluntary groups, charities, social enterprises and sports clubs to do the same. Chapter 2 also clarifies expectations for information sharing, independent scrutiny, funding and reporting, and also makes clear that local safeguarding children partnerships need to publish their revised MASA multi-agency safeguarding arrangements by December 2024. Chapter 3 is providing help, support and protection. The chapter is revised and has a renewed focus on providing support. It has 3 sections and considers the functions of early help services, safeguarding and promoting the welfare of children, and child protection. The early help section reminds practitioners to consider family-specific needs and how they can impact each other. Also, how services can work with families to develop their own capacity to problem solve, and to consider the wider family network for support. Practitioners are encouraged to adopt approaches to facilitate family group decision making, such as family group conferences. There's also a renewed emphasis in this chapter on professionals working closely with childcare and education settings to better understand and identify risk so that families receive appropriate and timely support. Section 2 of the chapter is the Safeguarding and Promoting the Welfare of Children section. This segment clarifies that there are a broad range of professionals who can act as the lead professional in child in need cases, and as such, consideration should always be given to who the family feels is best placed to take on this role. It's reaffirmed that for child protection inquiries, the lead professional should always be a social worker. To note, in North Yorkshire, all Section 17 or child in need cases will continue to be overseen by a qualified social worker. The section also explains the role of children's social care in respect of supporting disabled children and their families. It highlights that assessments of disabled children should be strengths-based, should focus on specific need, as well as gather the correct information to inform the assessment and best possible outcomes. The section goes on to say that local authorities should implement a DSCO, a designated social care officer, to encourage links between social care and SEND systems. Section 2 also talks of providing help and support in terms of harm outside the home, with emphasis that individuals or groups who are at risk or experiencing harm should have their needs and experiences considered in light of exploitation, both criminal and sexual, and or serious violence, with further consideration being given to the potential of multiple vulnerabilities being present. It's also advised that practitioners should work with relevant partner agencies to consider the influence of groups or individuals perpetrating the harm, and that they should consider that a child who is experiencing harm outside the home or is at risk of doing so may need to be assessed for consideration of support under a Child in Need or Child Protection Plan. Section 3 of this chapter covers child protection and introduces new multi-agency practice standards for all practitioners working or volunteering in services and settings that come into contact with children. Further clarity is given around agency responses to all forms of abuse and exploitation outside the home, and asks that assessments consider extrafamilial harm, as well as including resources in the understanding and response of online harm. Chapter 4 relates to operational responsibilities and introduces changes that clearly emphasise the benefit of prison and probation services sharing information with children's social care and other appropriate agencies to both strengthen knowledge and processes and to help keep children safe. Chapter 5 looks at learning from serious child safeguarding incidents. A substantive change in this chapter places a duty on safeguarding children partnerships to notify the Secretary of State for Education and Ofsted of the death of a care leaver up to and including the age of 24. North Yorkshire and City of York partnerships are currently working through these arrangements at a local level. The guidance also notes that partners may wish to conduct a local safeguarding practice review should they believe that there may be learning gained from the death of a care leaver or a looked after child. In terms of child death reviews, factual updates have been made to reflect the latest legislation and guidance. And that concludes our updates to Working Together to Safeguard Children 2023. If you do have further questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch via the information shown on the screen. Please note that there are further resources in relation to working together on our website. And for up-to-date information straight to your inbox relating to safeguarding children in North Yorkshire, please subscribe to our monthly e-bulletin. Additionally, you can follow the North Yorkshire Safeguarding Children Partnership via social media. This is on Twitter or X and Facebook, as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel. Our podcast can also be downloaded. Many thanks for listening.